Welcome and good afternoon. This is Commish Orr, and today I'm going to do a quick video on a payoff pitch dice roller that I've created and kind of show you how that works and tell you about the inspiration that led to this. And yeah, that's what the video is about today. I've created dice rollers now. This is my third game that I've created a dice roller for. The first one was History Maker Baseball. And then most recently, I created one for Season Ticket Baseball. And I'm going to be playing some Payoff Pitch, Season 2 of my Payoff Pitch League. So in preparation for that, I was like, I've had some experience creating some dice rollers. Let's create one for Payoff Pitch. Now, I will note that I have used the lewisresearch.com dice roller or Payoff Pitch helper in the past, last season, which if you go to apps.lewisresearch.com / well, you can search for it, I believe, and you'll come up with it. But the payoff pitch roller is kind of looks like this, and this worked great. I use this for my entire season 1 of my league, and it worked great. You just click roll, it'll roll the dice and give you a jump rating or a jump dice roll. Well, it'll give you a pitcher, batter, jump, steal, a bunt roll, a ballpark roll, and then also give you the defense checks down here. I didn't really use it for the runner advancement. I have a different options that I use for that, but this kind of served its purpose well, and so I highly recommend that to you guys if you want like the fast action cards. Similar to the fast action cards, because this flipper will give you the runner advancement so that you can see runner advancement as you would on a fast action card. So it's very similar to a fast action card. So why did I create my own? Well, the one hurdle with this one is that if you are trying to get a good lead for third, for example, according to the rules, you need to roll doubles below, and the total has to be below the runner's jump rating, is it? For him to try to steal third. Well, there was no way to see, if you roll, let's say, a 6 here for the jump, that there was no way to know whether that was a 1 and a 5 or 2 3s or a 2 and a 4. So that was one little drawback, is it didn't have that in it. And so I wanted to create a dice roller that had the dice separated out, I guess, if you will, and also included all of the dice that I would need in one roll, if that makes sense. And that's the second thing that the flipper didn't really, I'd have to sometimes flip a couple of times because it wouldn't have all of the rolls I would need in one go. It would have pitcher, batter, and ballpark, for example, and it would have jump and steal. You could use one of the steal ratings, but it wouldn't have the attempt. And I use this chart, the optional get a jump chart, when I'm playing solo. And this chart, to use this chart, first of all, you need the 2d6 to be less than the jump rating, equal to or less than the jump rating. So that's step 1. Then you check the percentage dice, cross-referencing the jump rating and the hold rating, to look on this chart to see if the runner's going to attempt it or not, or he can attempt with a poor jump. Okay, so that's a second roll you need. And then assuming you roll that he attempts, you need to roll a third time to check on the stealing chart. Okay, so my dice roller includes all 3 of those in the second line here. It has the jump, it has the attempt, whether they attempt or not, and then if they do attempt, it has the steal result. So it incorporates all of that. The other thing, honestly, is I found when I created the other dice rollers that I kind of like seeing the dice. So I kind of like seeing the dice like this instead of just a number. It just makes it feel a little better to me. I don't know. So some of it's just the aesthetic of it. Now, what this does also is it does also have the defense checks down here. So if you do have to make, if you roll and get defense, for example, on the pitcher's card, you can immediately look down here and it has rolled behind the scenes, if you will, to see if it was a range check or an error check and what fielder was involved and the actual roll of the number. This roll is kind of hidden. You won't see it on the dice up here, but that's fine. I needed to kind of save some space at least. And so it does have that defense check down here. Likewise, it has the results, whether it's if the defense check was made or missed. Okay. So in this case, you'll notice it says hit, error, out. Well, if it's a range check, you're not going to have an error. So there's not going to be any error display here. It's either going to be a hit or an out. And it's rolling behind the scenes and checking the chart, the payoff pitch chart, to determine the results of that. It's checking where is it? It's checking this chart, this defense chart. So all of these results have been, are part of the spreadsheet, I guess. And it's checking this stuff in the background. So the result you get is an actual die roll checking that chart, and then the result is displayed here. And then all you do is you hit F9 and you'll get another roll. See, in this case, there was an error check. And again, if there's an error check, you're either going to have an error and out. You're not going to have a hit chance here. So yeah, that's all you need to do is you just hit F9 every time you need to roll, and a new roll is generated. So in this case, an 8. I have an example here, Dennis Eckersley. 8 is tough. 90 on the tough on Tris Speaker here is a G4, ground out to the second baseman. And then if this had been a ballpark result, you have the ballpark number here that we would check down here. And then I also have the batter number here. So depending if it's wheelhouse or in play, you can immediately look at the batter's card with this result. And again, not have to re-roll at all. And then if they reach base, you don't have to roll to see if they get a jump and all of that business either. So it kind of eliminates some of the die rolling. But you just hit F9 and get your result. And the result will be, you'll look up on the cards to see what the result is. If there's a defense check, you can look down here to see what those checks are. The other thing that's built into this is Bill Carroll had a great pregame chart that he created, this Payoff Pitch Baseball pregame event chart that I used. I didn't use it at the very beginning of the season my first season of Payoff Pitch that I played. I used it a little ways into the season, but I really liked it because it added some interesting elements, and it created reasons to rest players. And their injuries just don't seem to happen with enough frequency. So I wanted to add some extra chances of injury into the mix too. And of course, this also had weather events. So what I did is I went in and I did a little bit of research on Google and found the injury rates. And the injury rates actually have to be a little bit higher than this to be close to realistic. And I was okay if they weren't perfectly realistic. I just wanted them to be a little bit higher for injury chances. And so what I did is I created my own pregame event chart inspired by Bill Carroll's great chart here. You can find this on the Payoff Pitch Facebook group, by the way, in the files section. You can find this pregame event chart. So thank you to Bill Carroll. I want to thank him for giving me the inspiration. And I kind of use this as a starting point, but I tweaked it for my own purposes, if you will. But basically what I've done is I've created my own pregame event chart with a couple of die rolls. Much like his, I'm using 2 different rolls to get a possibility of 2 different pregame events. And if they're the same pregame event, you only have to do one of them. So that's in here. I've also used, you also see the little cheat here on rest, potential rest. And I've used his numbers. So this is Bill Carroll's numbers. I did not create those. And I've used a similar system to his for determining which positions you check for rest. Though I modified it a little bit to make to add more catcher rest in there. I added that a little bit, so it's a little bit different. And then I tweaked the percentages so that there's more injury chances. So again, much like before, you would just either open this up or you'd hit F9 to roll. And in this case, there was no pregame event because both of the dice were below that threshold. So you see no pregame event. So you wouldn't have to do anything in that case. But if you here's another roll, potential visiting team player injury, and you're going to check the shortstop, and it's going to be this is an injury check. You're not going to check over here because this is the rest chart, not the injury chart. And then you also added another pregame event possibility, a potential home team player injury. And this you're going to check the DH. You're going to check his injury rating on the payoff pitch injury chart with a roll of 22. So that's in there too. I also, which I don't have included here, you can't see it, but I've also have my own weather check that I use that is completely different than Bill Carroll's system. And anyway, I use a separate weather system that I have not included here, or you can't see here. But that's what I use. So now I can quickly do a pregame check on here. It gives me the role that I need to check if there's an injury or that kind of thing, and then I have the die roller for the actual game. So that's kind of what I wanted to kind of show to you guys. And I think that's where we will leave things today. But a shorter video, just going to demonstrate that and show you the kind of the features of it. I do plan on starting my season 2 of my Payoff Pitch League shortly. I'm alternating that with season ticket baseball, best of the 30s tournament. But I'm very anxious to get back to season 2 of my Payoff Pitch League. I plan to do that close to the start of the baseball season, because if there are any last minute retirees, that will affect some of the lineups. So that's kind of my plan, my game plan, and what you can expect. So very soon you'll be seeing some payoff pitch results on my channel as I do recaps of those. In any event, let me know what you think down in the comments. Check out my other videos. You can see a lot of videos on my first payoff pitch season if you're interested in payoff pitch. You can follow along with my season ticket baseball videos if you're interested in season ticket baseball best of the 30s tournament. And then I also have a whole playlist of History Maker Baseball. I did a franchise great tournament with History Maker Baseball. You can check it on here too. And as always, you can follow the results over on baseballmaelstrom.com. You will see the payoff pitch results over there, along with the standings, box scores, and all of that fun stuff. And so that's where we will leave things. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, have a great evening.